421, I'm Chad Peterson. This is Advantage Bank's Evening Rush. We'd like to welcome to the program Brian Watson. Brian, thanks for taking time to visit with us today.
Thank you, Chad.
I don't know how to best introduce you. There's about a dozen different ways I could go. I loved seeing the interview that Donald Trump Jr. did with you. That's big time.
Well, thank you.
That's very nice. Got to watch that. Let's just say North Star Commercial Partners. You're a CU grad. What else would you like for the audience to know? Since we need to put you up as the expert about the economy, and then we'll talk about that. What else do we need to know about you, Brian?
Well, I appreciate you putting me there, but I grew up on the western slope of Colorado, went to school at CU Boulder, and have been working on the Front Range of Colorado ever since. And so we employ about 150 people in the different companies that we own, and we also buy vacant buildings and try to create jobs and opportunity in them. So we try to do our part.
What's a good time to buy vacant buildings? There's a handful available. I've noticed that lately.
Well, there has been, yeah. It was the worst economy that we went through since the Great Depression. And the economy has definitely improved, which is the subject of our conversation today.
Yeah, and I'm a little nervous about that, so maybe you can hold my hand through this. Business Insider looked at a bunch of different metrics and decided that Colorado has the number one economy, California, Texas, Arizona, Utah, on down the list. Is that really true? Is that good news? Is that what's your expectation on that?
Well, with any news, I think it could be good or bad. And so let's focus on the good and take a moment to celebrate that. And, Colorado across the board, some very positive things have been occurring. And, the job growth, obviously, and also the income, which is the most important to people in Colorado families, having the impact within their households. So we've got many very positive things going, but, there's some negatives that come along with that as well. When you're, put on a pedestal like that of being rated the number one place to live, obviously more and more people want to come to your state, and that puts pressure on things like infrastructure and things like roads and schools, and also water resources, which is a big issue for our state, especially in the future. And it also increased costs, cost of housing, cost of renting, et cetera. And so there's the good with the bad, but overall Colorado has positioned itself very well and should celebrate this.
Brian Watson is founder and CEO, North Star Commercial Partners. We're talking about the Colorado economy in general. Reason for this visit is the article in Business Insider that says Colorado's the top economy in the nation. You said income growth. What I've read nationally just recently is that the job growth has come back, but the income hasn't come back in similar ways. Are you saying that Colorado's job growth and wage growth have been better?
Well, and so definitely the job growth has, and there's been sectors within the wage growth as well. Has it all the way across the board for every single person and family? No, and I think we need to continue, to work on that. One thing I will say about Colorado, what I would call, the Colorado triple edge, and I get the opportunity to do business around the country, and I think there's really three primary things that separate our state out from the competition, with the other states. The first I would say is our environment, obviously the great weather and the phenomenal outdoors, but also the positive attitude of our people. You'll travel around the country, and not everybody has a positive attitude about the future and where they are and where they're going. And I would say most people in Colorado are positive about the future and want to make a positive impact. The second thing that I would say that separates us is our natural resources. Everything from farming and ranching to oil and gas production to mining and timber to even hunting. I mean, I'm a hunter, and bow hunting season's coming up, and, that alone puts over $763 million a year into the Colorado economy. The last one that I would say are Colorado's people, and I would say that's probably the most important. We have one of the most educated workforces in the country with a strong drive and that positive attitude, which I really think drives that further opportunity and success for our state.
Well, I think you chose four, really three-ish. People and attitude go together maybe, but environment and resources. Colorado really is a special place. I'm second generation. We've been here for forever and ever. I have a centennial family farm. I'm the youngest of the youngest, so when I say second generation, people think it's only been, that goes back 120 years. So having said that, Colorado is beautiful, and I've been most everywhere else in the country, and of course I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I lived in South Dakota for a little while and Texas for a little while. Brian Watson is founder, CEO of North Star Commercial Partners. We got the news that Colorado's economy has been rated as number one. It makes me nervous that California is number two. What do you make of that? Can I ask you off the cuff there?
Well, I'm actually very surprised about that one. Most people and companies that I deal with in California want to move out of the state. You have a very oppressive, government. You've got state government. You have, very high debt for the state, and the taxes are frankly just killing people and businesses there in terms of being able to stay there. And so, as an example, in Colorado, we mainly buy vacant buildings at North Star and get companies to locate in them and to create jobs and opportunity. And I'm working with several companies right now from California who are trying to move out of California and looking to a better environment where they're welcomed and where they can create opportunity for themselves and their employees. So I'm very surprised to see California as number 2, but I can tell you Texas, Arizona, and Utah, they have favorable business climates like we do, but it is surprising to see California there.
That's the one that didn't make sense to me. One of these things is not like the other, and that one does not belong. Having said that, what a great business model that you run for North Star Commercial Partners. I know you have of other interests, and I want to ask you about the Opportunity Coalition in just a minute. But what a great thing to take we'll call it derelict, maybe that's a clinical term, but a derelict piece of property, a building that needs to be repurposed, and you go in and you fix it up and create value. And that was what you were talking about with Donald Trump Jr. That must have been pretty good business over the last few years as the economy was so far down, and have the opportunity to move that. Is there a project that you'd like to spotlight? Is there a particular success that you'd like to share with us?
Well, thank you for your kind comments. And, sadly, there were a lot of vacant buildings in Colorado, which means, fewer jobs, et cetera. We decided a long time ago to start connecting our passion with our profession. And I think when you do that, you don't work another day in your life. And so, my passion is going and finding, buildings that don't have a high utility or not into full productivity, and to buy them, improve them, and to reposition them to create jobs. I'll give you an example of 2 quick buildings. One building we bought in the Denver Tech Center. It was an 80,000 square foot building, a lender-owned property. It was a foreclosed property. And the Innovation Pavilion was in there. The Innovation Pavilion is a business incubator. The youngest entrepreneur is in middle school, and the oldest entrepreneur is in his 80s, and everything in between. And over 80 companies have been founded in this one location in a year and a half. And so we went in and acquired that building and put it back into productivity to make sure the Innovation Pavilion could be there and to flourish and create additional jobs. The other one I would tell you about, we bought a vacant building on East Colfax in Denver. Again, another foreclosed lender property, and we helped turn it into what's going to be called the Afric Mall, which is a business incubator and also a mall for African businesses, and these are immigrants from Africa. It's about 150,000 people within the near vicinity, and now they're going to be taking this vacant building and occupying it and creating jobs and opportunity for a multitude of people. Those are the kind of things that get us very excited.
In Greeley, we have a great immigrant population from Africa, and they are nothing if not very entrepreneurial. I've noticed that. There's an African restaurant that has just opened in the last few. There's a couple of African storefronts in Greeley, which is, it's that entrepreneurial spirit. They're in the land of opportunity. They see great opportunities and are going forward with it. I love that. So,
you're right. And you look at your ancestors, when they first came to this country, they risked it all. And they came here for the American dream, and I believe the American dream is still alive and well. And for these people to come alongside them and help them achieve that, I think it will have a ripple effect for many generations to come.
I think you're right. And thank you for saying that. We've lost sight of the fact that this really still is the most amazing place in the whole world to be. And, we missed that. Brian Watson, North Star Commercial Partners. Let's talk about the Opportunity Coalition. I can stretch us a minute or so here. The Opportunity Coalition looks like a really wonderful. Will you share with us about the Opportunity Coalition, please?
Absolutely. So as I said, originally I came from the Western Slope, and what I noticed in our state is unfortunately we're kind of disconnected at times between the regions that we live in, whether it be Western Slope, Mountain Range, or the Front Range. And so I founded the Opportunity Coalition as a nonprofit to bring people from, the political world, the business world, entrepreneurs, academia, et cetera. And we have a speaker come in once a month that shares their golden nuggets of wisdom. And we have a great group of people come in. Anybody can attend, and they can network. And my goal is that new companies and new positive initiatives will be put forth, employees will be found, and that people share their experiences and learn from these golden nuggets of wisdom to see how they can help improve Colorado and our country in general. And so it's been very exciting. We have Bruce Benson, the president of CU, coming month after next, and we've had everyone from John Harple, who's in the natural gas industry, and Hank Brown, and a host of others, and we'd be honored to have people come. You can learn more at OpportunityCoalition.com.
Outstanding. North Star Commercial Partners founder and CEO Brian Watson. You also have brianwatson.us, so it's easy enough for people to find you. Really appreciate your take on the economy and sort of holding our hand through this, because I'm still in that nervous. I'm not an economist, you are, but I'm still a little bit nervous, but I appreciate your sharing the idea that we really do have a lot to be optimistic about. I'm glad you shared your take with us.
Well, I appreciate being here, and I would say, in terms of listening to your gut about being nervous, my hope is that people learned some of the lessons that needed to be learned from the down economy. We all went through it, and the question is, did you learn anything, and how are you going to do it differently the next go-round? And so economies will go up, economies will go down, but I think if we continue to stay focused and to invest in our communities and businesses, I think great rewards will be reaped over time.
Orrin, what I know you're doing is sharing the blessings. I heard you listen to another interview with you where you said you were blessed and you were sharing the blessings. That's Opportunity Coalition and some of the other work that you've done, the foundation that you founded. And so grateful to have had a minute with you. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you so much.
Great. Brian Watson, founder and CEO of North Star Commercial Partners. Good to have him from the radio for a few minutes. Business Insider said Colorado's economy is best in the nation. That's a good thing.